Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Three Spurs Boys and another episode of What's Buzzin' Cuzzin. We haven't done this in a little while, so Cuzzin is down there in the corner, of course. Believe it or not, I'm not related to the two Caucasianly challenged gentlemen on screen here. But big up, we got, of course, my regular co-host, my man, the sexy Scandinavian, Kuva99 himself. And we've got somebody making their debut on our show, Mr. TJ Warren from TJ Warren TV. Welcome, sir. Even though you're Gooners, we will welcome you with open arms. We might sweep you out before the end of the show, but right now we welcome you. For now, right?
Yeah. Being powdered and de-liced, it's okay.
Until Sunday, until after the result, right? Then,
all right.
Then
we'll see if we're still friends Monday. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's start with first off. Do we start with the new guest, or do we start with the returning champion, or what do you want to do here?
I think start with the new guest, because returning champion has that sort of comfy,
he's got swag already,
slippers type feel to him, doesn't he? So
fair enough.
We're relaxing into that.
I like that you guys are calling me champion, even though I didn't win anything.
Well, we didn't win anything. Yeah,
but it's nice.
You won my love.
Seems to be popular amongst Arsenal fans at the moment.
Yeah, I'll take it. Champion of the show last year. I guess
we're champion of 2 games, winning over Spurs, home and away. That's about it.
Yeah,
there's no trophy
for that. Hopefully you enjoyed it, folks. It was nice to TJ join us for a few minutes there. You can catch him TJ Warren TV. The link is in below in the description there. And that was the shortest debut. TJ, you clearly don't know the way we roll, man.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry.
Seriousness is not done.
Taking censorship to a whole new level. What'd you say? Click.
Yep.
I love that. I love that button. It's so great. It's just like, yeah, bye. See you later.
Here, just to make you feel better.
Yeah.
But Robbie, in fact, has not joined us for a little. Sorry, I like the United Colors of Bennington thing going on. We had here. There we go. Robbie's not joined us for a while because he's got a baby gooner. That unfortunately, my nephew has already been corrupted. Unfortunately, my efforts.
That's just good parenting.
That's true.
Parenting.
And
you're going to set a record for the first time.
Napping right now. I will tell you, since we've already gone through a few games, my wife does have that rule: when the baby's sleeping, you can't scream at the TV. And I'm just like, well, I can't abide by that. So there's already been a few times where I'm like, "What?" She's like, that is worse, because he'll just jolt up. I'll be like, yeah, no, I'll take.
Can't she sit out in the car with the baby while the game's on?
Yeah,
you would think that, but no,
90 minutes.
She don't like that.
Wow,
that's very selfish of her. But don't worry, Coobs, I got a suggestion. I got a solution for him. We'll just keep it very quiet for them on Sunday.
Yeah, I think so. I think
that'll help. I'm doing that, and I'm willing to do that for my nephew.
I agree. I think you guys will be very quiet on Sunday. I agree.
Yeah, no, we said you would be. Way to try to dude, come up with your own shit. You've been doing this since we were kids, man. Like, seriously. 45 years of stealing my lines, stealing my jokes, stealing my candy, stealing my toys. Come up with your dad now, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Represent.
Younger, more improved, often imitated, never duplicated. Younger, better looking.
There's a reason you're not duplicated.
I've already duplicated. It's coming. It's more.
I don't want to know what one you're coming. Okay, let's add some people in the chat here. I got one of your Gooner buddies here. Tariq is already here from Tariq Talks. Big up, man. Good to see you, buddy. Brush, our United lover. Big stuff. Good stuff, buddy. Robbie is saying hi to Rob, Kuva, Bobby, and Kuva. TJ, he does not like you. So it's Robbie from Lily White Hart Lane has made it very clear. TJ is on his hit list. Jim, big up, buddy. He's my cousin, Jim. What do you do, Jim? And of course, Kate's here as well. Big up, guys. And boo to the Gooners. We're not going to agree. Yeah, Robin.
Oh, he
said hi to me already. Okay, I'll let that slide. Biggie, my man. What's up, Biggie? Yeah, there's too much red on the screen. If you guys can just go into your color fade, and that'll help eliminate that and make it a bit of an orangey. That's what I've done on my side. So Robbie right now looks like a pumpkin. And I appreciate that with Halloween coming up.
Halloween's coming, buddy.
Yeah, I made TJ's shirt like a weird pink though, but it's a nice kind of pink though, right? Jamie, big up, Jamie. Good to see you, man. Gone midnight over there, right?
TJ's rocking a neon pink skin tone on my screen, and a bit tangerine going on behind. It's nice.
Unfortunately, we do have to start with a bit of bad stuff, Coos. I'll go to you on this one here first. Our first, last, and only win at the Emirates since they moved there in 2006 was November 2011 when Kabul scored that winning header. Have we been unlucky there? Have we been dominated there? What can you justify as some form of reasoning as a Spurs fan behind this?
For me, clearly it's just this global conspiracy against Spurs, isn't it? VAR, refereeing. I mean, the fact that this lot are in the top league itself is a travesty. It robbed Barnsley of being in the top league. Arsenal did not win promotion to the top league. They were given it. This is fact. And yet they just keep on acting as though they belong there. Exactly.
They've never been relegated.
Yeah,
only
never
one
been
of two
relegated.
teams.
So
Never been relegated.
they're the original Man City. Go ahead, Koofs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take it. Thanks.
So they've suddenly got
Without
history.
the money.
Can't even hold down that a place in their own neighbourhood. They have to leave. They're that unpopular and come over and sit in ours like cuckoos. I mean, everything about this club is seriously annoying for the rest of football. It's just, you shouldn't be there. You're in the wrong location. You pick the wrong colours. It's just everything wrong. I mean, come on, we kind of lose to you because we feel sorry for you half the time. That's it. No, right. Sorry. Seriously, though, we've been rubbish for ages. It's very rare we have a manager that comes along and makes us look like a football team. So since the start of the Premiership, we've had to watch the Gooners go with their Invincibles and some great football sides early on. However, it's 20 years since they won the league now as well. And that little celebration that they do is a distant memory for a lot of people. And a lot of their fans won't have seen those days. So two peas in a pod in that respect. We have not been hitting the targets we should be. Clubs of this stature. So this is a big game, I think. But it's bigger for them than it is for us this season.
Yes.
I'll say that because Arteta's been there a few years now. Now it's time to deliver. All that building, all that, look how well we're playing football. Look at those final pieces of the jigsaw going in. People like Declan Rice coming along at huge money. That's supposed to make the difference this season. So if they don't do it, I think they're in for a real reality check this season that is just not going to work. And I think their manager isn't good enough, personally. I think if they had a better manager, they would actually do something. He's got you so far, but it's as far as he can take you. So at the end of the day, Arsenal are going to fold, and it's going to start on Sunday when we whoop them.
And there you have it, boys. So thanks for joining us. There's really nothing for you guys to follow up with there because we just laid the hammer right down. I don't really give a shit what you got to say, man. I'm fed up with you. You know what you gonna do? Call your mom again? Like you've been doing this shit since we were kids. Enough is enough.
Hey,
right?
don't forget our very last episode. Your mom was on there. I remember you trying to talk to.
Don't be talking about my mama.
She was like, "Hey, Mom, tell them Spurs are the best." And she's like, "No, Bobby. So if you didn't watch the last."
Whose show is this? Huh?
A lot of censorship on this show. I don't know if I feel comfortable.
It's more bullying than censorship, but I appreciate you using that word because it makes me look better then. So thank you for that.
Watch the last episode of What's Buzzin' Cuzzin, and you'll see my aunt in there, and she's like, "No, Bobby, I'm not saying that." Anyways, Robbie, and that's pretty much the way it went.
TJ and Robbie, really nice guys, but I hope Bobby and Kuva are happier after 2 points. Nippin, I don't think I've ever agreed with you more in any comment or statement you've made on any show. Nippin is obviously a Chelsea fan, as you can see in the logo.
Oh, I know. I know Nippin, and I just feel bad.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for him at this point. So,
you know, worried about.
Actually,
Villa.
I don't. I hate Chelsea. Never mind. Sorry. Long may continue.
Ben's got a very.
That's the really weird thing for me because although I'm Spurs, Arsenal should be the team I hate the most, but they're not. It is Chelsea, a disgusting club.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. I actually hate United more than I hate Spurs, but that's only because I'm old, and I remember
that rivalry you had over
United, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's my list.
See, but the thing is, TJ, it's different for us over here as North Americans because we run into less fans. Like you've probably encountered less Tottenham fans than you have United fans. Like me growing up here, the only Arsenal fans I knew were Robbie and his brother.
Yeah.
The only United fans we know are cousins of ours, basically. The only Liverpool fan we know is a cousin of ours. There's no like none of my friends growing up support and watched football. They're hockey.
Right.
So over here, it was kind of hard to have that banter. So me and Robbie, even growing up, even though we supported rival teams, we never really, only game days, we'd laugh at each other kind of thing. Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, that's it. Once that game was over and was done, the rest of the year, football wasn't even brought up in conversation.
It was really only until the broadcasting started happening, and we would actually be able to see more games
and watch
like
the games.
Spurs,
Yeah,
like the Burnleys, like the whoever.
Kind of early 2005, 2000, between 2005, 2010, I would say, is when we started consistently getting football here available on television.
Yeah.
Right?
Otherwise, it was always United. You know, you'd get La Liga stuff, you'd get Serie A stuff. It would never be in English, but you would get it.
Yeah, well, that's it. I actually like watching the games on the Android box in Arabic.
Yeah,
I honestly watched one. It was hilarious. You know, so it was fantastic. But the Japanese guys are the best.
Yes,
boys,
true.
This I'll pose this banner statement towards you as well. Do you think this is about to change? We'll just keep it simple that way. Do you think this record will things change, or do you think you're just going to keep piling on the misery for us? TJ, we'll go with you first.
Not this year.
And that's enough of TJ. Yeah, motherfucker. Why did we do this show again?
I don't know.
What was I thinking?
It's like you set the trap and they just walk willingly into it. I don't know why.
Thank God I have this button. I don't know what I'd do without it. I really don't.
Keep that button safe for Sunday, bro. I don't know if you're going to be able to
TV. It's just going to be Bobby alone here hitting the button with nobody here to do it.
Now, you haven't been married long enough that
nobody's around to hear it. Did it really fall? You know,
TJ, I've been married long enough that I'm used to pushing my own buttons. Okay. So that is a challenge that is easily accepted. But big up, Lee. Good to see you in here, right? Biggie's agreeing with you, Coob, saying it's that time, right? Hold on to that, Rob. Rezzie's here. Big up, Resonator. That's the quote. This quote I actually sent him. It was the Gandhi one. Remember I showed you? There's a picture of Gandhi saying that.
Absolutely. Totally agree with it.
More than whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Wonder if that's a religious base thing.
Thanks, Rez. I know Kim made you.
Well, that must be two reasons why I hate Spurs, right? Because Postecoglou coming from Celtic and now taking care of Spurs and. So
hey Mia, when we win on Sunday, can I come on can I come on Spurs in between the lines and talk to you about how I'm going to be crying into my waffles? Let me know.
What did you do to piss her off?
Me and her never get along. It's fun.
First this.
Wow.
Right?
It's getting personal up in here.
I know. It's
Alex's
fine.
Box office.
It's fine. No. Her and Sava really like me a lot.
Sava loves everybody.
Sava loves everybody. Big up Sava.
So both of you disagree. You don't think that this is going to happen this year. I can appreciate that, especially when I look at something like this, where the head-to-head record in the derbies overall is we're looking at 49 wins for ourselves, 44 draws, and 69 wins to you guys. So, obviously the swing is in your favor. Now that obviously is going to change to 50, 44, and 69 come Monday. So, Rob's. What do you think here? Do you guys right now with what Kuva said? This is your time. We're not supposed to be where we are. When you talk to Spurs fans before the first ball was kicked this season, a lot of us looked to the first 5 games of the season, and we were trying to find 7 points out of the first 5 games. So we were very, what's the opposite of optimistic?
Pessimistic.
Thank you.
Very Spurs.
Yeah, we were very pessimistic. Ange was hired. A lot of fans were against that. A lot of people weren't too encouraged by it, especially when you go from two so-called world-class trophy managers with Mourinho and Conte. then going down a level to Ange. But as a Spurs fans, I know personally, I think it's worked out really well for us. Do you think that the manager bounce is going to help change these numbers? Robbie, you go first this time.
I don't think so on Sunday. I will say this: I understand, at the end of last season, even partway through with Conte, it got pretty toxic at your club, right? The fact that Kane left 2 days before transfer window deadline day also was pretty detrimental, right? Didn't really instill a lot of confidence. And I think some of your transfers, even from last year, I think you guys would agree, the quote unquote, we won the transfer window with Rishi and some of the other guys you got. Some of the transfers coming in this year didn't instill a lot of confidence. But I will say, in your guys' defense, the style of play, and Ange at least is bringing a style of play. When you guys got Conte, when you guys have Mourinho, their style of play is pretty obvious, right? Defense, park the bus defense.
Park the bus, yeah.
Now you've got a manager who we talked off camera, when he was running Celtic, even in the Champions League, and he went to the Bernabeu to play Real Madrid, he didn't change his philosophy. He still went for it there. On another day, he could have got something against Real Madrid. They did end up losing 3-0, but it is still Real Madrid, and not many teams will go there giving it a go. You know what I mean? So he's not going to change, and it's the Bernabeu. So I don't think he's going to change his philosophy. I think possibly with Kane leaving, it's really galvanized everybody else to sort of step up and say, hey, we're here. You've addressed some parts of the defense with Van der Ven, and Destiny's doing well. I think there is a feel-good factor coming back to Spurs. I mean, you guys it really wouldn't have taken much to make you guys feel better other than provide a style of play. And
it's funny you say that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Right? It wouldn't have taken much to be like, hey, we feel better.
We were so down and in the darkness that a little bit of light was inspiration to us. That's how black clouded mentality so many of us have come to the point where my beloved co-host here stopped watching football last season.
Yeah, I remember a lot of you guys just stopped watching.
The only one.
Well, guys, I can't tell you how many times I sat up, started watching the game, and by the 70th minute, little K's waking me up, saying, "Dad, game's still on."
Yeah,
because it was painful, boring football. TJ, your thoughts on the two managers against each other here?
I think that Ange has provided Tottenham a style of play that just hasn't been exposed yet. Go ahead and get the button ready. I think that.
Sorry, hold on. I appreciate you telling me because I wasn't ready.
Yeah, go ahead. I think that Spurs and Arsenal have not played any teams of true quality yet, and now they're running into each other at the Emirates. Okay. I think that in terms of quality in the squad, I think we have just a little bit better than you. I think it's going to be tight. But in terms of Ange as a person is great, incredible manager. But I do think that the style of play that's really, really open that he plays is eventually going to get exposed by teams of higher quality. And we'll see at Arsenal. But, again, as long as Arteta doesn't play any sort of weird like 3-4-3 inverting from both right backs, all this different stuff that he has been trying that hasn't been progressive in the final third, I think we should be able to pull it out. But you can't. You got to give Ange his flowers. He has turned it around very, very quickly. He's had to contend with your legend, possibly the best Spurs player ever, leaving prior to the season starting, and he has instilled a program, an agenda, and a new light, as you guys said over there. So I'm not as confident as I was, 5-6 weeks ago going into this match. I will say that. I will give you that. But
and TJ, quite the opposite for us. Whereas 5-6 weeks ago, I didn't even want to watch this match.
I had people coming on my channel being like, "Are we going to get relegated?" Like it was that bad. It was that toxic. But now it's not that way.
We were lucky to finish in the top 15. Apparently, we were relegation fodder because one player left, but a player that they knew was going, Ange knew was going, and it looks like he had prepped properly for it. So, Cooves, what do you think? Do we have a little swing in our favor because the ways Ange has these guys motivated and pumped up, or?
Absolutely. First of all, it's the man management side of it. Things he's got players just believing in playing football again. They're playing with a smile on their face. They're playing with determination, grit, and steel right to the very last minute. When he says we never stop, you saw that against Sheffield United. We really didn't pull that game out of the bag. That's the kind of thing where if Man City don't do it, everybody goes, that's what they do. It's what champions do. But if we do it, oh, well, that was just lucky. It isn't lucky. We kept at it and we got what we deserved. Now, what seems to be a misconception as far as I'm concerned is that Ange Postecoglou plays this style of football that's so wildly open and gung-ho. It's really not. There's a lot of rigid structure in that team. What it's all about is maintaining some sort of form of possession in the midfield and getting the ball up the pitch as quick as possible. You look at the passing options when players get the ball now. Last season, you could throw a blanket over 3 or 4 players. It was easy to mark them out of the game. Now you've got, like, looking at the side of it, I've used this example several times. A player will get the ball and it's like looking at the 5 come up on the side of a dice. You've got 2 behind, 2 in front, somebody in the middle. There's 3, 4 passing options that open all times. Even if we get overrun in the midfield, you see Maddison drop back to make the extra number up. The doggy drops in to take Maddison's place, and we still maintain those passing options. And because we're so aggressive in getting the ball back now, we are ready to go the second we gain control again. I don't think Arsenal are going to be quite ready for that. And when people do say, quite rightly, perhaps somebody does find out a way to counter this kind of football at the moment. But the only way I see it is either you let us have some of the ball, or you're going to have to take risks just to counter what we're doing. And then it does become a wide open game. So it's down to the opposition. Do they want to try and enforce their game at extra cost to them? Or do you want to just give us some of the ball? Because we're going to take it. That's what we're all about. And now players are believing in this system. We're getting the results in the league. Forget the cup match. We made 9 changes, got beaten. Well, we didn't even get beaten in normal time either. And that's against Fulham. And the Arsenal struggled against Fulham as well. So I'm not going to knock that as some sort of pointer to us being starting to fail or anything. I think we've got real drive and determination this season. I'm totally bought into it, as most people know by now, to the point of fanaticism. This is the manager I've wanted all my life and didn't know he was there. This really is. This is everything I believe in the way to play football. And he embraces the ethos of the club that I knew when growing up. And that is to dare is to do. That there is no greater feeling than us going out, taking the game to the opposition, going for the win no matter what, and relentless to the last minute. That fills me with pride watching the team do that. I think we're going to give Arsenal a hell of a game on Sunday. I don't think it's going to be this cakewalk that a lot of people are predicting. So for me, I'm actually going for it. It could be won by single goal, because I think there's a case where we might be cancelling each other out, because that midfield battle is going to be so intense. Yeah. There's going to be hardly any room, and it's just going to be that one little piece of brilliance or a mistake. It could be a 1-0 game for me. I'm really looking forward to it because it's a test. But it's not just a test for us, it's a test for them as well, because you're not firing on all cylinders, and some of these expensive pieces to the jigsaw need a little bit of time to wiggle in. And if it doesn't work, you've already seemed to have sacrificed some of your attacking flair for that more sort of solidity at the back. That's what Declan Rice does for you. But to be honest, I think you were flying at the start of last season. This season, you're kind of plodding along, doing well, but it's not spectacular. You've lost something. And the one for me that's the overriding concern, and I think it is for some fans come to near the end of each season, is it's the same manager that always oversees the collapses. He doesn't find a way to get the team rallying when you need motivated, them. Yeah, we saw it last season. That wasn't just the one or two games where you threw the title away. It was a period of weeks where the results were bad, week after week after week, and that happened the season before as well. it's now becoming a trait. I think you've lost the mojo. It's like there's the belief may be gone. I don't know what you do about that. I really don't. But it's funny when you do.
For us, yeah.
I don't think the belief is gone. We haven't lost a match this season. I don't think the belief is gone. I think that's a little harsh.
No,
it's just the way you were playing, though. It's kind of like us, though, TJ. You know what I mean? Like we were, even the games that we did win, the style of football that we were. It was so brutal.
Yeah. I would agree with you until we saw what we saw on Wednesday. That's what I'm saying. We saw what we saw on Wednesday.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Arsenal lost the swagger, the way that they start off and came out like hell out of high water last season at the start." And I think what happened was, quite frankly, injuries and everything else just made us lose steam at the end. We just ran out of gas, and you can call it a choke or a bottle. That's really what happened. Now we're managing.
We called it both.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it whatever you want. I mean, it's easier to be a has-been than it never was. But from that standpoint,
speaking of never was, so what we were saying is
but what you'll also see is that we're controlling games and still getting results. We're not going high flying and everything else. On any other season, losing Partey, losing Martinelli, losing some key components, you'd be like, oh, Timber, you'd be like, oh, Spurs are going to walk all over us. Now you're still seeing Arsenal fans be like, no, in all honesty, I'd be like, we don't miss those guys because Jesus is coming back. You've got a squad that can actually play properly. I don't know if you guys have watched our games. In the truth, I haven't watched a lot of your games, but Rice is this different gravy. Saliba looks great and on form. Bringing in David Raya for competition. Any other time, like last year, or even when we were chasing top four, you lose Partey, you'd be like, well, season's over. We're done. We got no midfield legs. Partey's
which
gone.
Is pretty much what happened 2 years ago.
Which is pretty much what happened. Oh, Saliba's gone. Tomiyasu's gone. Top two is gone. Right now, you'd be like, oh, Martinelli's injured. Trossard can slot in. Oh, you've got rid of Xhaka. Rice is right there. Oh, Partey's missing. Okay, you've got midfield options.
Sorry, Martinelli is out for sure.
I don't think he'll start. He'll start. Yeah, but am I that worried about it? Trossard's 2-2 with an assist.
No, I'm just asking because it's for something later on. That's why I asked.
No, I think he'll probably save him. For sure? He didn't make the bench in Champions League. I think you don't rush him back, considering Trossard's doing well. I personally wouldn't risk him. Maybe you give him some minutes in the Champions League, and we've got Chelsea and City coming up soon. So I'd rest him for those and get him fully ready.
But he is available though. Okay, I just wanted to check that. Sorry, I just wanted to catch up with the comments here quick. Indian Gooner, Postecoglou actually said something regarding this, and he basically came out and said I also had weaker players at the time. So he's got players that he feels fit his system better now. So that's, we're looking at a different animal right now. Coobs, you want to just start this off here, and I'll just quickly go through the comments and get caught up. I had this conversation with my boys. Is it quite possible now that you guys had that big win, 4-0, you finished over PSV? Is there going to be a sense of artificial high kind of that big buzz from a big win kind of thing? And then is it going to compact with fatigue? And like Kuva said, are you not going to know what hit you because you're going to be expecting something else? Kuvs, take it where you want, buddy. I'll catch you with the comments.
Fatigue is always an issue, no matter what anybody says. You play the extra game in midweek, it does hit you. We've known this for a long time.
Sorry, Nick, we will. I've started. I will get to it. I promise. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's definitely a factor. Even, of course, players can play 3 games in a week, but playing 3 games at 100% each week, that's something else. You might be dipping 95% of your playing ability in one game. And in the Premier League, that can end up costing you points. Now, the midweek win, PSV. Now, is that really as big a win as made out? They don't travel too well. They're in their Eredivisie, which I do watch a lot. They're at the top of the table, and that looks like, you've taken a big scalp. But they haven't really played anybody of worth yet in the Eredivisie. Yeah, they're a much weaker team than led to believe. If you'd done that against, Bayern Munich or something, I'd be taking interest. I think you really got something, but that doesn't happen. So the midweek game, it's at the end of the day, it's scoring 4 goals unanswered at home. I mean, that's going to give you some sort of confidence, isn't it? I mean, just winning gives you confidence, even if it is against so relatively lesser opposition. But I think you put the two together, big occasion, slap onto another big occasion. That's a mental sort of fatigue as well. Keeping on top of the game.
Sorry, Kuva, keep going with it, but add Nick's comment to it too, because a lot of the Arsenal fans that have been bantering us are not only saying they're going to win, it's going to be a convincing slap you in the face win.
That's it. They built themselves up. This is now not a fledgling Arsenal team that's still rebuilding. This is one that's supposed to be delivering now, and a lot of fans say that's going to happen.
Do you boys agree with that? Like, do you feel
we can wait till
the delivering point now? Like,
Arteta, we can wait until Kuva is Kuva finished. Is Kuva finished?
We do our predictions, but I mean,
I don't think.
I'm getting hurried up here by TJ.
No. I just
don't.
I don't. So there's a lot of grouping in. So don't group me in with the 4-0s. I have literally admitted everywhere I go that it's going to be a wide open game, and I think it's going to be extremely sweaty and tight, as I like to call it. It's literally there's going to be a lot of goals, and it's going to be very open. I really do think that the people that are thinking that this is going to be a 4-0, 5-0 for the Arsenal have not watched Spurs this season. I will concede that. They have not. They think we're going to come in and just walk them. What?
And vice versa, too. I'm sure there's a lot of Spurs fans that haven't watched Arsenal.
I'm sure.
We're basing everything on what we've seen from our manager, from our team. We're getting hyped up. Naturally.
Right. No, exactly. But if you're coming at this from any sort of logical point of view, if you've watched these midfields and how they play, if you've watched how these midfields feed the front three, you will know that it is going to be tight, and it's going to be a game. I think it's going to be one of the best North London derbies ever, in my opinion.
I agree.
But it's one of those things where, like, if you look at like the way we were playing, the way we were having issues scoring goals prior to the PSV game, I was extremely worried about the North London derby. I'm not going to lie. I was extremely worried just because we were not producing. We were not producing offensively, but that high artificial high from PSV, just, I don't care. I don't care if you're playing a pub team. If you're able to generate goals like that, it has to give you some sort of confidence. Naturally. It has to. Like if put the shoe on the other foot. I mean, if you had just seen, Richarlison, Son, Solomon, and Kulusevski score each of them in the Champions League, you'd be a little bit happy. You'd be a little bit jacked up too.
Of course.
And if the game was at home on your turf, you guys would be like, "This is."
I guess what I'm asking then is, because we've already kind of touched on this, will Arteta be able to get them to refocus? Because it seems like that's where he as a manager is almost failing and having the right mentality pushed through his team because they're young.
I don't necessarily think, and then I'll shut up. I don't necessarily think you need.
Don't shut up, PJ. By all means, man. This is not a shut up show. We talk.
Yeah. So no, I don't think there's any sort of reason to not be up for this match. These players, and this is what I like about Arsenal, and this is why it's going to get over the line. Every single one of our starting 11, sans hopefully Kai Havertz. I hope Kai Havertz doesn't start, but we can get into that. Later.
We do.
Oh, you do. Of course you do.
Well, we'll get into
every single one of those players, sans Kai Havertz, you put in ESR, or you put in Fabio Vieira. They know how much this game means.
Especially if
they will die on the pitch to win that game at the Emirates, because if we even draw this game, it's a loss.
It'll feel like a loss. Yeah, I agree with that completely. And I will say, in terms of the fatigue, I know a lot of Man City guys said you get into a rhythm, you really want a continuity. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, or every 3 days. With the deep squad, it should not be an issue. We're at home, so again, no long travel to, Warsaw or any other, Netherlands or wherever we had to go. We were stuck at home, which is great, right? I think in terms of fatigue, I just don't see it, and I don't really think Arteta's going to need to motivate these guys. You should never really need to motivate any Arsenal or Spurs guys in a North London derby. The motivation is the occasion. That's the motivation. And the motivation is we're in front of our home fans. But if you did need added motivation,
less and less players feel that, Robbie.
No, but I mean, if you're now looking at that crop of players, at least for Arsenal, you've got a bunch of Hill End boys. You've got Arteta, who is an ex-Arsenal player, been there 4 years. You've got a lot of guys buying into the philosophy. You've just got Odegaard, our club captain, signed a new 5-year deal today. He scored the banger at your guys' ground last year to get over that hoodoo. There should be the motivational team talk should be go out there and do what you do. That should really be it. There should none of this, hey, here's a light bulb, or hey, energy and any of that.
Let's bring the photographer in. We don't need that.
It should just be like, go out there and destroy. And you've got the tools now to do it with Jesus and Saka. And okay, if they don't do it, you've got Reece Nelson and ESR and other guys off the bench to make a difference. And I think that really is the motivation. And the fact that, hey, you bottled it last year. Now's an opportunity to correct that. You go again. And can you go again with this Champions League that you guys have been looking for the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think if I take the Spurs tinted glasses off for a bit and just look at the two teams, you have the better team. It's a more developed team. You had longer to put it together. You've been playing together for longer than ours have in a lot of cases. This is where the motivational bit does come in, because from your point of view, I agree, it should be easy. Go out and do what you do. You're the better side. Play like it. Should be nice and straightforward. From our point of view, this is where I think the managers really come into their own. The really great ones, when you are the underdog and you are going into the lion's den and you're up against it and you've got a hostile crowd and you're saying, let's absorb all this, use it, drag something out of this game, have them hate you, all of them hate you, and walk out there with something and just come out with that lion heart performance. That's what I'm expecting from Postecoglou, because his entire career has been being told he can't do something, and then he does it anyway. And it's against all odds. That's what we need as a manager. For us, he's perfect, because we aren't going to be spending big. We know this, and we've got a board that's erratic at best. So he's going to do everything against that backdrop of what Levy and Cullen and the board members do. Even this week, we go and sack our head scout and new director of football coming in, and there's more uncertainty. This is all we ever seem to do, chop and change. So it's all down to the manager. Is he good enough to get that kind of backs against the wall mentality and, the siege mentality that Alex Ferguson always talked about at United? And I think this bloke can do that. I'm so looking forward for Sunday, because I really genuinely can see us doing it. Even if we're not the best team, the better team when you look player for player. I think that sense of purpose, that drive, and that battling against the odds, I think that's gonna come to something. I just don't see that kind of same determination in a lot of your players.
I think you're absolutely right. It would worry me more, I think, not just on the form goes out the window in a derby. I think if Ange gets backed properly and maybe within 2, I'd be more worried to play him next year or the year after. Maybe even when we got to play at your ground. Once he's got maybe a couple of his more guys more drilled. In all honesty, I don't think, and again, I haven't watched a lot of your games, I don't know who the best striker your guys have faced so far. Maybe Mbeumo, maybe Wissa. You guys haven't really faced anybody of note, right? No main striker. So that'll be a big test for your defense.
That's still not an issue come Sunday, though.
Well, you will. I mean, if you don't rate Gabriel Jesus, fair enough.
I do, but he's coming off an injury, and we're looking at what has he done so far in the entire season, right?
Did you see him you didn't see him on Wednesday?
No.
He cooked on
You'll see him on Sunday. You'll see him on Sunday. Yeah, you'll see on Sunday. To me, it's a game changer. To me, it's a game changer. If you watch the way he plays.
Who were the two PSV center backs that he was up against?
Couldn't even name them.
Exactly. So
because they were double teaming the rest
of our guys. He is when he's got to play real defenders. The argument can go both ways in reality. But that's not what we want to turn this into, guys. I just wanted to quickly get to Nippin's comment here, Coovs. He did ask this question a lot earlier. Nippin, sorry I took so long to get to it, buddy. But I just want to leave it where we had a moment before we transition to something else, and this is that moment. You asked what hurt more. For me personally, it was Gareth Bale, because at the time I thought that we were coming into something, that we had a good team, and I just thought he was completely irreplaceable, and he was just magic. Whereas to me, Kane is kind of, I guess it was almost expected, because it's been just dragging on so long. And it was one of those things that it didn't even hurt when it happened. It was more one of those, okay, Harry, thank you for everything you've done. Good luck to you. Coobs, how do you feel about this?
No, you hit the nail on the head. We had, basically Kane's been at the club for 19 years or something like that. He was a really young lad when he turned up. We've had great service out of him. Cost us nothing. Came through the academy. Sold him for a massive amount of money. Bucket load of goals. No problem. Off you go. Good luck to you. Well done. Always going to have fond memories of him. But when Bale went, we desperately needed him at that point. That's all we had.
Well, it's like Kate saying he was in his prime while Kane is winding down, right?
Yeah.
And I think you guys didn't really spend the money well with Bale, right? You got a lot of money, but you guys didn't really invest it properly.
Yeah.
Well, Soldado at the time was the best striker in Spain. Did we expect him to flop the way he did? To me, he's just like another Ndombele, where he was highly rated and everything. Other people tutored him so well, he just didn't come in and work for us. There's a few players there. Paulinho was another one that everybody was rating on. We were expecting him to do great. Comes to us, does shit, turns around, goes to Barcelona, is fantastic again. So, if players don't come in and put their heart in, it doesn't matter. And when you look at the players that we did buy from that, Eriksen, Lamela were the guys that were kind of lower on the tier in terms of what we expected out of them, and they
turned out better.
Two of the better ones, right? So it's hit and miss. You guys know that, like 105 on Declan Rice, and I'm sure some people already in your own fan base have seen it, where people are like, "Oh my God, he's not."
Declan Rice aside, there's something that our two teams have in common. Is when we do get a lot of money to spend, we generally do it really badly.
Yeah, I really wish we had a little bit more of that Liverpool model, because when you figure, what they sold Coutinho for and how they revamped that money to revamp their squad the first time around, it kind of makes you wonder, like, if they end up selling Salah next year to the Saudi, get another 150, 175, how, again, if they stick with Klopp and everybody else, how they reinvest that money will probably be very smart. And you're right, we don't do it properly. Although in my opinion, I think part of that is changing at Arsenal. Maybe not fast enough, but we'll see. Definitely a lot better than Chelsea. Had to get that.
Oh, well, yeah. Dude, on paper, though, Chelsea are phenomenal. You put
the game's not played on paper.
Game. You've got an all-star team there, right?
I don't play footy on paper.
Doing here. Well, that's not what we're doing anymore, guys. I know we tried to say we were going to try to do a half-hour show. I know Robbie's got commitments, but we'll try to screen through this pretty quickly. I've got it set up, so it's just a quick option. People in the chat, if you can give us your vote as well. I know we're heavier Spurs fans in the chat than obviously TJ and Robbie didn't bring their mates with them. But if you guys can, please take off your bias, take off your Tottenham hat, and just try to be honest with what you think would be the best options here. And caught up with everybody. Yeah, geez. Called Kulu.
He thinks you're Kulusevski.
Without any arrogance, all Arsenal players in 11. So that's one way to get your ass banned on the channel. Thanks for coming in, Indian Gooner. Make sure you hit the like on the way out.
I agree with him. Now that you guys have sold Kane, I would agree with him.
Well, no, I think there's arguments to be made here. So we're looking at the combined 11 on current season form. Let's look at the 5 games that we've played thus far and go from there.
So this one I would actually give to you guy because Ramsdale hasn't played the last 2 games. So in current form, it would be your guy because he's played consistently.
And he's actually doing a lot better than what expectations were on him. Way better than what expectations were.
Well,
I mean, do you agree with that?
If you're comparing him to Lloris, let's be honest, Onana would probably be better than the way Lloris ended last season.
That's a bit harsh, bro. You keep talking shit like that, and I definitely will boot you and leave you.
Is it? Okay? Is it harsh?
Onana? Dude, Jay is better in net than Onana.
Okay, fair enough. With
Yeah,
Jay?
but the
Jay then
racism-
over Maurice?
I shouldn't downgrade him like that. My kid's actually a good goalie. Never mind. I shouldn't have said that. My wife's a better goalie than Onana. Trust me, she's blocking me all the time.
Oh dear.
But I would
sorry,
agree
you're
with
still
you on
home?
this.
No. Robbie was talking about bad signal. Sorry, I gotta hang up.
If you were no, I mean it's interesting, but I mean if you were to say Raya over Vicario, I mean again
But
on
the
current
thing
form,
is, that's why I went with current season form, because Raya obviously might be an option but it's not. He hasn't played yet, right?
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to do it based on what's going on in the now. So,
Yes.
TJ, who would you pick?
Vicario.
I know who I'm picking. It's Vicario, obviously. Coops?
Vicario. Current season's form, yeah, definitely.
Current season, yeah. Because again, we had little even through preseason, people were shouting, "Why the hell did we buy this guy and not spend the money on Raya?" And now that conversation has ended.
Myself included.
Dead. Yeah. And it's dead ended. It's not even like whispers anymore, which is beautiful to see. So sorry, before we get into the next one there, we'll just quickly see Vicario, yeah. Jim says Vic. Let me throw apart Basuma. So, but Indian Gooner, you've already been trumped here, buddy. We've already got, if you're going to throw Basuma, that's 2 out of the 11 already you've conceded. So, or something, it's a mistypo. Oh, you're getting some love here, TJ. Finally, guys, come on. They're our guests, man. I know they're Gooners, but they are our guests, right? So, Nicholas is already answering the next one. I won't go to that. So, Nick, I know your answer for the next one here, but here, TJ, you can. Or actually, no, we will go backward now. Coops,
A doggy by a mile. I think a doggy's rapidly developing into one of the big name left wing backs in Europe. I really do. Yeah. He's got everything, absolutely everything,
and he's growing still.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna fill in on top of that.
Pace, power, aggression, gets forward well, anticipates things well, tackles hard, wins the ball back well, joins
Positioning
in.
has been very good.
Positioning's good, yeah. Mentality's good. He's got everything.
Sheffield game because of him, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're saying it among the fan base already. We're expecting a massive bid from the likes of Real Madrid somewhere down the line.
Oh, I don't doubt it. TJ?
Udogi. Zinchenko really hasn't played as much as Udogi as Udogi showed out. Zinchenko has
other option. I just looked up who your left back was, and Zinchenko was the only option that came up.
Jurriën Timber played against Nottingham Forest, right? Was injured. He was injured, and then we put, I believe we had QER back there, Tommy Asu, I don't remember. But Zinchenko was also coming off of an injury too. So it's one of those things where this is kind of similar to that David Raya situation where Zinchenko really hasn't had too many games to show out. He hasn't put a foot wrong in the games that he has played, but just in terms of current form, Udogi has shown out. So I will give you Udogi. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that.
Fair enough, Robbie.
Yeah, same. I think Destiny's got a really higher ceiling than Zinchenko. I don't think he has put a foot wrong. I got him in my fantasy, so I'm happy for that. I'm going to bench him this weekend, just FYI. But I think he's been fantastic. That battle on Sunday, Destiny and Saka is going to be one for the ages. I think it's going to be really good.
Really tasty.
Really good. Because most teams double team Saka, right? Because they're like, we know he cuts in on his left. So that battle is going to be key for me on Sunday for sure. But I would go Destiny in current form over Zinni.
Yeah, and when he cuts in, he'll have a nice big Dutch fellow waiting for him called Mickey. For me, it's Udogi as well. I've never really liked Zinchenko. I didn't know what the big hype about him was, but when I did watch him play against us when I went to the NLD, this is a guy that knows where to be. He's a smart football player. You can tell that he positions himself very, very well to make sure that he's breaking up play and everything. But how old is he now?
He's up there. I think he's one of the olders. I wouldn't say late,
around there now, right? He's on his 30s.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, he just had his second baby, so he's up there. But defensively has always been his weakness. He's more of he drifts into mid. When he played against England, when Ukraine played against England, he was playing in mid and got that goal. But yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why we bought Timber was because Zinni can't play left back full season. So you'll see a lot more of Tomiyasu, I think, filling in there. Yeah, I don't think you maybe give him another year before he's transitioned into a bench player, squad player.
Indian Gooner giving up a third spot now, saying Zinchenko if it's inverted system, Udogie for doing a flat left back. We're actually doing a 4-3-3. I should have mentioned that from the beginning. We both pretty much are set up that way anyway, so it's kind of an assumption on my part there. I should have said that, boys. My apologies. TJ, you're getting love now all of a sudden. See,
Destiny's quick.
You're unnecessarily docile, or he's a realist.
Nah. Or I just have a
Rob,
brain.
you're getting some love too. Don't give him love. I'm fed up of him getting love, man. Pisses me off, actually. I love him to bits. He's my cousin. He's like a little brother, but man, he hated my ass. But I do love you, Robbie. Still love you. So a lot of love there for you, Dogie. Agreeing with you guys here. We'll go right backwards again. Robbie.
Yeah, on current form, I think you'd have to go Van de Ven. I think he's played every game for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because Gabriel.
After 2 days of training. Yeah, 2 training sessions, Kuv, when he came over. That's all he got. He didn't put
it wasn't much.
And then thrown straight into the pan. So
if we're going current form, because Gabriel missed the first 2 or 3 games, I can't remember. And then due to Timber's injury and something else, I can't remember. But
Timber and Party's injuries. Timber and Party's injuries got him in. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gabriel missed the first 2 games. So on current form, you would say Van de Ven just because he's played more games.
Robbie, not just because of Tottenham player, but this kid has been impressive, man. This kid, other than the fact that he for some reason can't win a header at 6'4", everything about him and his game is just his pace, his positioning, everything. He's.
Well, you guys are screaming out for a center back for years.
Yeah.
So the fact that you actually got a center back to partner Romero is, it's like bringing a starving person a sandwich, right? So the fact that he's in there and competent and can actually do a job, kudos to you guys for actually filling that gap. Because otherwise, you guys were going to go get somebody on loan again.
Or we're going to start a Dyer again. We won't start that conversation again. Yeah, see, Kuba's already rolled.
You guys are one injury away from your
guys rolled up his head like, don't start this crap. What about you, TJ?
Dyer's king.
Yeah.
Same
answer.
Yeah.
Same answer. Gabriel was a victim of Arteta tinkering a little bit too much, in my opinion, putting Party at right back and then playing essentially an artificial 3 at the back with White, Saliba, and Tomiyasu for a few games. Gabriel, I don't think put a foot wrong, and I don't think he deserved that. But just because he hasn't played enough games and Van de Ven has looked good, you got to go. Unfortunately, with Van de Ven, based on current form.
Yeah.
Based on current season form.
Yeah, of course. Just 5 games in. 5 games from now, we might be having a completely different discussion here. So, Coops, anything else you want to add to that, really? I know you're pretty much in the same boat here.
Van de Ven, we now have a defence again. It's that simple. He's had that much of an effect on the team.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a few mistakes in him. He's still a young lad. He's learning. Gabriel, for them, I think, has been massively underrated. I think he's a much better player than he's been given credit for. And he's actually doing quite a good job for them in the last couple of games. Not spectacular, but he's just been solid, dependable, which is exactly what they need. That's what you always want.
What you want from a centre back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think Van de Ven just edges it because it's current form, and that's what we're going on.
And Paddy's, of course, picking Dyer just because he loves Big K, and the delusion from my son has clearly rubbed off onto Paddy. No, TJ, all jokes aside, my son is actually a Dyer fan.
Oh, boy.
All jokes aside, that's my bigger one. My little one is at least a Sunny fan.
So that's
why this is why it's very important.
My head settings on that one.
No, but TJ, that's why it's very important that we get the channel monetized so that we can start collecting super chats and helping the therapy fund, because it's $225 a session, and that's per hour. And right now, the therapist thinks that he probably needs about 7 to 8 sessions per day. So
I like to look on the philosophical side, Bobby. I mean, there's a reason you've had 2 sons, isn't there?
Nice. The backup.
That's nothing that I need to switch up here, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to say, for me, it's Van de Ven as well. I've already kind of said my piece regarding him. I think he's just absolutely the cat's meow, for lack of better words. He's just absolutely fantastic. So, Coos, Romero or Saliba? Try to whip
That's
through
a much more
I know
difficult.
Robbie's getting antsy down there. He's got to go.
That's a much more difficult shout for me. Romero last season, you'd put Saliba way ahead of him. This season, Romero's looking like a captain, not just a centre back. Yeah. He's really stepped his game up and looking a dominant figure again. Saliba is a class act, though. I can't easily choose between the two of them. This season alone, I'm going to go Romero, even though overall I'd say Saliba's been the better centre back, but current form, Romero's been absolutely spot on for us. Okay. Then again, Saliba has been for them. I can't call it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's see if one of the boys down there can help you make a decision. Then, TJ,
Saliba, Rolls Royce, unbelievable player, has been extremely solid. You can call it feelings on this side. I think Romero has been playing well. I do rate Romero, especially because I think Van de Ven has settled him down a little bit. So that partnership has benefited you and Romero. But Saliba, man, doesn't matter who he's playing next to. He is absolute class. Absolute class. I'm going Saliba.
That's a good point. Romero's also got 2 goals to add to his
I didn't realize
Robbie.
That. Like I said,
I think that beauty against Burnley there, right? So outside the box.
Yeah, that was a 5-0. You guys won that game? 5-2. Yeah. I mean, again, it might be Regency bias. I'm going to have to go Saliba. I haven't seen him put a foot wrong this season. 2 difficult clean sheets in the last 2 weeks. I haven't seen him get outrun, outpaced. There was that one mistake where Rashford scored that goal, but both you could blame either Saliba or Ben White for that. It just didn't look like they were communicating. Other than that, I think Saliba's ceiling's a lot higher, but if we are going on current form, I would still go with him just because in terms of defensively, I think if you watch his movement, it's next level.
Mm-hmm.
Rez, I appreciate that, what you're saying with the Romero thing, but we're just talking about the 5 games so far, thus far into the season. For me, I'm actually going to give it a little bit of the edge to Saliba, only because I think him and Van de Ven would just be ridiculously good together with the pace that the two of them have. They would just, I don't think anybody could get by them. Pace, height, nothing would matter. Strength, but like Kuva said, Romero has just been our Rolls Royce so far this season. He's calmed down with the stupid fouls. He's making good decisions. His positioning has been good. I haven't seen him do anything wrong, really. But I'll give it to Saliba only because I want to see one of you guys get a player in the combined 11 finally. Right? So I have a
feeling they may be sneaking a few in soon.
Yeah, I think by the end there might be a handful more. But right now it looks like Vicario, Udogie, Van de Ven, and Saliba, and on the right back then, Robbie.
Yeah, well, Ben White also missed a couple of games or out of position games for Party in the right back spot. So on current form, just in terms of games played, me personally, I would still go Ben White because he was, I mean, again, one of the best right backs in the league last year, but that doesn't count for current form. The way he overlaps, though, I haven't really. I think did Porro get a goal this year? Has he scored a goal?
He's certainly been involved in a few. I'm trying to think who's actually scored one himself. I don't think he has.
I don't think he's got one. No.
So I know White's.
Anybody in the chat know if Porro's popped one in? I know he's had quite a few shots though.
Me personally, just to keep things moving, I'm going to say Ben White because I think Ben White's class.
Okay. TJ?
Same, Ben White.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Porro's coming on leaps and bounds, and like I said, I'd prefer to have him in a team than Emerson Royale because at least he can play football. But Ben White's done a really good job for Arsenal. I think as a centre-back, I think he was absolutely hopeless. Switching him to right-back that goes into that central midfield slot, he's been a revelation for him. This season alone, I think he'd have to edge it. Yeah, I'll go Ben White.
Yeah, same. Just because I think defensively, Ben White is just a little bit more reliable. Although Porro has increased his defensive abilities, I still see a mistake in him, and it just seems like Ben White is a little bit calmer back there. I'd like, Ben White obviously doesn't have the pace that Porro does, but when you got Saliba and Van de Ven already in there for the pace, you don't really have to worry about that now, do you? So let's just quickly see what the chat is saying with that one. Ben White, Gunnar, Ben White, Porro. Yeah, there you go. So Kate, same as me, pretty much. White, yeah, fair enough. Porro to get an assist from the Indian Gunnar. You're a bigger flip flopper than I am, man. Yeah, for now it does. Yeah,
thanks, Ben.
Ben White. Yeah. Did he score at Burnley? Kate's saying, I don't think so.
Oh God. The goals have been flying in so thick and fast. We're not used to it, mate.
Yeah, that's true too. Last year we knew who scored all in our first 10 games there. Robbie, you started the last one, so Coovs, you get the toughie here. Take off the Spurs hat.
Take off the Spurs hat. I will say Rice is a fantastic player. I think he's having a great season, but it's biased, not because it's Spurs Arsenal, but because of the style of play. Rice is that calming influence that just sort of builds things from the back steadily, gives a sense of security and direction and purpose to the team around him. But it's at the cost of not really being spectacular to go with it. Basuma, you got the other end of the scale where he's been sensational to watch. This rampaging bull going forward with the ball, creating havoc at both ends of the pitch. Who do you pick? The one that excites you the most, or the one that's actually doing a really incredibly calm and good job for his team, and it's what they needed? For me, I'm torn because I'm going to have to go for Basuma just because I like what I watch.
And that's the thing. We're going on the last 5 games so far, so we're just current season, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying that it's a different way of evaluating each player. Rice is that calming player. Basuma's the aggressive sort of potential match winner type aggressiveness to his game and running with the ball so powerfully. He does what's needed for our team. Rice does what's needed for their team. How do you separate the two other than just go, I like watching Basuma, I don't really like watching Rice, although I appreciate he's good.
There you go. TJ.
First, I have to say before all the Gooners come for me, we talked about this on Tottenham Away for a long time when we looked at the stats, and I am driven by stats in a lot of my decisions. Rice, I believe at the end of the season, is going to statistically and on form be better than Basuma. But at this current moment, I have to put this disclaimer out. At this current moment, statistically, Basuma has played better. Okay.
Fair enough. Appreciate that.
And I'm saying another disclaimer too. I really don't think the first 3 games for Arsenal are going to be indicative of how we're going to play through the rest of the season. I think we were still trying to pack the midfield. We were essentially playing a back 3, and I don't think that benefited Rice statistically and his style of play. So statistically, got to go with Basuma.
Okay. Robbie?
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I mean, for mainly due to the fact that he scored that game winner against United, which again,
incredible.
I hate United. For the money, there's a lot of expectation on his shoulder for such a young kid, captain of West Ham and coming to Arsenal, 24 years old. I will say this, so my pick will obviously be Rice. A lot of Spurs fans, and not just Spurs fans, a lot of fans have told me Basuma is what your team was sorely missing in the midfield. Him
there was
and
rumors
Maddison,
about you guys going in for him come January, right?
We did. We
No.
did.
Now there's new rumors that Arteta is looking at them again. Yeah, that they're thinking about going for him. But
I mean, if you're going to get rid of Party,
if Casado was 100 million, come on, man. Y'all going to be
for the
paying
price
way
you
more
guys got him
for.
For the price you guys got him for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a steal in comparison to what everybody else is paying for midfielders.
Yeah.
And in terms of Arsenal going in form, I mean, this week was a certain Campbell's 49th birthday, so we don't have to necessarily say he wouldn't cross that.
There's shit you just don't say. You don't come on here and talk about Judas, man. Everything was going fine. Everybody thinks he's the nice little brother. He's the nice cousin. He's
Happy
good.
birthday,
Mom,
Skull Campbell, by the way. It was his birthday this week.
This is what he's been like since we were kids.
So I said it.
Okay? This is what he's been like since we were kids. This shit is not new, okay? You guys used to get mad at me because I always used to beat him. Now you know why.
More sensible. Sorry. But yeah, I'll go with Rice.
Okay, so you're the only one that did because of what Kuva said. It's Basuma for me. I just think he's been more flair and like TJ said, stats wise and everything. He's led everything out of the midfield. He's just looked fantastic. Most of the chat. So Indian Gooner says Rice, of course. Stuart likes his basmati, and Robbie likes to kick himself out and come back in just so I have to move them again. Sorry, Superb and Basuma said that about a few times. Yes. We've said that once or twice, maybe with Basuma every time he's been back. So basically, Indian Gooner, you're saying Rice one man of the match. So he had one good game.
I mean, if we're going on current form, one over none. But me personally, I think Basuma is quality. I think it's quality, and you guys have, given what happened last year and how you guys played. I mean,
there you go. Basuma was man of the match first 2, maybe 3 games in a row.
Was he?
I don't think he was. No,
he was. No. He did get the man of the match award one thing because he was pictured with Sonny holding that little thing they got at the end of the game.
What about? Yeah, not in 3 games though. Surely.
No. I'm saying he did get one though, not 3 in a row.
Oh yeah. Sure.
One of the first games, yes, he did get one. So, there you go, my fellow countryman Gooner. We're there. You're incorrect. Okay, y'all can fight each other. Keep it up.
I might have to dip out, guys. I'm sorry. I hear my baby screaming.
Okay, let's get this done quickly then. Just quickly, go, Robbie. Instead of having a half-hour conversation with every player and while you're picking them, just pick a goddamn player then.
Odegaard.
Madison, but it's bias.
I
love them both. Well, as you know, I'm half Norwegian.
That's true, yeah.
I really do love Odegaard. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'll be happy with either in the team. But Madison's transformed us, and it just makes me happy. So I'm going with the bias.
I'm gonna go with Odegaard as well, just because I think he is the guy that makes your team tick. He's basically what I'm saying. What we're seeing with Basuma with our midfielder, I see that with Odegaard in your midfield. I just
screaming
if you guys were to lose him, that would be more detrimental to lose any other player on your team. I think.
Agreed.
Madison, I'm not discrediting Madison. He's been exactly what we've been screaming out for. Him and VDV. But we've 3 of us picked Odegaard on that one. We are on to here. This should be an easy one, Coobs.
Oh my god!
Nice. This is no different.
Move on. Move on.
Who would you pick? Gervinho or Kane? Who would you pick?
I
don't know.
I love it.
Even Havertz wouldn't vote for Havertz.
I don't think even Havertz would pick Havertz.
Okay, so safe to say Sar on that one. Trossard or Solomon, Robbie?
Trossard.
This should be an easy one as well.
Trossard, baby. What a player.
Oh, shit.
Trossard.
Uh-oh.
What's happening here?
What's happened?
Oh, he's retyping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So everybody went with Trossard there. He's been phenomenal for you guys as well. Came on and he scored the winner for Everton with you guys, right? So
Everton off the bench. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goal and assist on Wednesday.
Yeah. See, even the Spurs fans, we're not all that biased here, right? So, guys, this is the one that I think is debatable because for you guys, Jesus had a great game the other day, but he's been missing all season. Richie
he's been
finally lifted. He's coming back off this whole depression thing that he admitted to and having these mental health problems. He scored and got an assist, lifted our team to a victory. Sonny is just Sonny. For me personally, I'll go first on this one. I'm going to stick with Sonny. only because I know he can be consistently reliable there. Coofs?
Current form, I think all three of them need to do better than they've been, to be honest. Yeah, I think difficult this form this season. I'll go for Sonny. I think Jesus is one of those players that he makes Arsenal tick even when he's not scoring. He's just a really good footballer. I don't see that all-round game from Sonny, and definitely not Richarlison. So what do you want? Somebody that scored a hat-trick, or somebody that's helping with the way the team plays a little? I'll go for Sonny just because it's a hat-trick and no other reason.
Okay. Yeah, on current form, I'd have to go Son because Jesus had recurring knee surgery.
That's the thing. This is kind of unfair to Jesus and unfair to you guys, because that's why I didn't put Nketiah here, because I knew that, as soon as I put that up, you guys would have tossed your hands up in the air the way I do with the Havertz thing. So I wanted to give you something. I should have maybe just done Jesus against Richie here. A player out of form versus one that hasn't played at all, kind of thing. That could have caused more for a debate. TJ, which one did you go with?
Real debate at the end of the season, I think, will be Richie and Havertz. That'll be the real debate.
Whoa.
How do you think Nketiah has done?
I'm actually surprised. I'm a big fan of Eddie, right? I don't think he moans. I don't think it's something unseen in football. I don't think he moans about being on the bench. When he's come on, and including the end of last season, I think he gets his head down and he scores goals and he causes some havoc, but he's just not a name. He's not the name. He doesn't do as much as Jesus does off the ball. But yeah, I'm happy to have him in the squad, and I'm happy for him to fight for his spot. But I think we still miss that bagman. And eventually, if we were to get, I know everyone's going to go in for Ivan Toney. Everyone's like, oh, when we get Toney in January. But if we were to get a proper striker, Ferguson, somebody else of that ilk up front, and people are still talking about who's the backup to Saka, people forget that Jesus for City can play front and can play wide right.
Pretty much all three positions. You can play on the left too, right? He's
so for me, a
kind
backup
of like
to
our
Saka
forward. They
as
can
Jesus,
play all three positions, right?
Yeah, and as long as you get a bagman up front, Trossard double-footed, can actually even play in the mid. The Havertz spot he did in preseason. So for me, it's interchangeable. In answer to this, it would have to be Son.
Can you just give us your answer? Because my nephew.
Yeah, I told you Son. I said Son.
Thank you. TJ.
Jungman's Son.
Thank you, TJ.
For the hat trick. The hat trick.
You can talk, TJ, because you haven't had a chance.
For the hat trick and for his Burberry photo shoot.
Fantastic.
Sorry, TJ.
No, hat trick for the hat trick only. He should have been playing number 9 for you guys a lot earlier, in my opinion.
Yeah, we were screaming for that, and it's the second it happened. It seems like this is why we're happy as fans as well, because it seems like Ange is bending to the the will of the fans and giving us what we want too, right? So which is beautiful for us. Last but not least here, I think this is going to be an easy one, personally. Robbie?
Yeah, it's got to be Saka for me. I think his ceiling and everything he's done, even though he hasn't got the same numbers as maybe he had this time last year, but what he does on and off the ball and the havoc he creates, definitely his ceiling, probably a lot higher than Kulusevski. But I do like Kulusevski.
Sorry, Robbie. To be fair on that last comment you said, I don't think you can expect players to come back and to replicate the exact numbers they have, because once a player's been figured out, teams are going to defend them a little bit more. They're going to try to close them out. Like if you watch the Sheffield game, Sonny had a sandwich around him. Two pieces of bread making a Sonny sandwich the entire game. Yeah. So once you identify Saka was not that big threat, now people know he is, so they're going to defend him a little bit more.
I disagree, because you could say the same thing for Haaland, right? So now people have figured out Haaland doesn't stop him from scoring hat tricks, doesn't stop him from scoring goals.
Well, people have figured out the way he started last season, though. Look at his numbers compared to this year in the first 5 games. By this point, I think he already had 34 goals.
But and I agree. I just think if you're going to be one of the greats, which I think Saka has the potential to be, not just for Arsenal but on the international stage, it doesn't matter if people have figured you out. It doesn't matter. You find a way to make magic moments happen. And fair enough. In his first game with that goal against Forest, that left foot, You know, it doesn't matter if you double team them. It doesn't matter if you've got enough of a team around you, like a Jesus, like a Odegaard, like a Fabio Vieira, like a Trossard or a Martinelli or whatever. You can just pass it off to one of those guys and let them get the glory. And I don't think Saka's the one, like a Rashford, who's sitting there refusing to pass, saying, I'm going to score this goal because he's on 300 bags a week. He's like, no, I'm part of a team and I want the team to do well. I don't want just personal glory for myself. I want the team to do well.
Sorry.
Oops.
Yeah. Is that Saka?
No, that's
Yeah,
Roman
I was just talking
calling.
about you. Yeah.
No, that's my nephew Roman calling, wondering why his dad's going on having 3-minute winded conversations to give a 30-second answer.
All right, let's speed it up, man. I gotta jump because he is screaming.
What a player, Bukayo Saka. That's all you gotta know.
I think he's
all that needs to be
phenomenal.
said.
Yeah, he is. He's just. I'm looking forward to him getting better for you guys, just so he's better for England as well. Is there anything that you would take away from Kulusevski there, TJ? I know you haven't had a chance really to talk too much thanks to the guy beside you, but go ahead.
Kulusevski showed moments of brilliance last season, but eventually fell off. He just doesn't amount to the contribution that Saka gives to Arsenal. Like if you look at, I rate Kulusevski, but who did those 2 goals come against, right? So it's one of those things where if Saka will put the team on his back, you cannot say the same for Kulusevski. But yeah, what a player! That's all I can really say. That hasn't already been said by Rob. Honestly, I agree with everything Rob said.
There you go. So there it is. There's our combined starting 11. Then pretty much in agreement here with Vicaria, Udogie at the left back, VDV left center, Saliba and White. So you got the goalie in the left side of the field will be us, and the right side will be you guys. Basuma.
Amazing when you think about that, right? Like Sonny would technically be the false 9 or the 9 in that lineup, right?
Well, that's what he's pretty much been doing for us right now, right?
Yeah.
So
it'd be interesting to see. I mean, if Kane was in that argument, then it would be Kane up front all day.
Easily.
Oh,
but then the argument would come down to Sonny over Trossard, which could be debatable as well, right? So based on current form, especially if Sonny still had the goals that he had that he's put in right now, it would be a good argument. But we are going to get close to wrapping up here, gentlemen. I'll just quickly go around, get your score predictions, and we'll call it a day here. Robbie, I know you got to go, so why don't you give your score predictions first?
You're not going to like mine, so you might as well save me for last.
I don't like you at all.
Get rid.
Things that you say. So why don't you just tell me?
I know you don't like me. You love me. You love me.
You love you. You're like that little shit brother that I never had, but I always wanted. Didn't want. Okay. Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of highlights with my son. I personally think, and again, take it as disrespect or take. I think there was a time we went against you guys. And we came away with 2 back-to-back 5-2s. I'm going to go 5-2. And I'm putting money on it.
Wow.
Not with you, but I am putting hard money on it. That it'll be a 5-2 on Sunday.
You've had a few sleepless nights lately, haven't you?
I've had 3 months of sleepless nights. My baby don't like to sleep. He don't like to sleep. And he hates us.
Let's go to guard over him, Reds. It was tough. That one was a toughie, buddy. But yeah. So Robbie's going 5-2.
Wow.
TJ?
3-2 to the Arsenal. It's gonna be
okay.
stressful.
Your Gooner buddy here is saying 3-1. 3-1 to us. A lot of draw options. 3-2 from Totspur. 3-0 Australian Gooner saying to Arsenal.
I will say I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet.
Taxi for Robbie.
No, we won't keep
7-3 for Coobs. So you're saying 3-2. Nice tight game. And Coobs.
My heart says 7-3 Spurs because that's the score I always want. My mind is saying I think it's going to be a much tighter game than people are predicting, and I'm going to go for us nicking it 1-0.
Ooh.
I completely agree with Kuva. I think it is going to be a very tight game. I think there's going to be a lot of players canceling each other out, a lot of play canceling each other out, especially if we both come out attacking and aggressive. I think it is going to be a 1-goal thing as well. And it will be 2-1 to us. All right, have a good day. See ya. All right, take care. Yeah, so sorry, our half-hour show is at 1 hour and 20 minutes now. Have a good day. Yeah, so that's it. We got the downstairs boys there saying 3-2 and a 5-2 win. Upstairs boys saying a 1-0 and a 2-1 win. Any more things that you guys want to add to this before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll definitely do. I'll definitely do. I put Madison in the team, but I got outvoted. I just want that out there.
Okay. So do we take out Sarr and put in Madison instead? I think that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
No, you
It's
put
a more
Rice,
Madison
put
play on the
Rice
wing.
in there if you're gonna start switching and changing, chopping and changing.
Nobody asked you, TJ. Kuva?
Okay.
Yeah. Spurs channel.
You've
You can
got
do
enough
that.
love for me today, okay? I've been nice to you the whole show. That shit's hard for me. Okay, when you're wearing that crap coming on my channel, now come on. Bad enough I've got red behind me in the background. I gotta figure out how to switch me and Robbie so that I'm on that side all the time. So
I'll tell you what, for a change, it's nice to be able to do a combined 11 where you have to think about it a bit rather than just the constant, it's all from one team and the other's doing terribly. I think you put those two together, you could make quite a decent team out of that.
Indian Gouda, the first thing I've agreed with you in
That's
terms
funny.
of comments the entire chat. Yeah. Yeah. So technically I've still got another 10 minutes. he should be. He should be. You're right, Kate, but we're not gonna argue that and go backwards now because my nephew needs attention. Robbie, what's anything coming up with you? Are we doing anything soon, or it all depends on Roman's schedule?
It does depend on Roman. Listen, it was really good. Nice meeting you, TJ. It was really
Nice
good
meeting you
seeing you
too.
again, Kuv. Looking forward to the game on Sunday, Bob. I'm sure we'll be messaging back and forth.
Oh, you said you're going to the pub to watch it, right?
I will probably end up having to stay home and watching it with the kids.
Then me and the kids are coming to your place to watch it with you and Roman.
If you want.
Yeah,
man,
we'll be there 9 a.m. Yeah, I'll pick up
Just
breakfast on the way. We'll talk after. I'll give you a call.
Okay.
If you're
Okay,
home,
sounds
then
good.
we'll come to your place and watch it. That's fine.
Okay. Sounds
And we'll
good.
come see the baby as well, and I can bring the books and everything we were talking about.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, perfect. All right, we'll see you then.
Okay.
All right,
Ciao,
TJ. No, you gonna bounce? Yeah, you're gonna go.
I'll
Okay,
bounce.
good.
I'll bounce.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
take
take
care,
care of
guys.
him. I'll see you later. Love you,
Good
cuz.
seeing
Cheers, Robbie.
Bye.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Bye.
Later, Robbie.
Sorry, TJ.
Phew, I got rid of one of them.
TV. Yeah, fuck, man. I'm slowly eliminating them, man. It's all right. Sorry. This one hasn't been bad, actually. I actually like this
Yeah,
one.
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah.
He's like respectable and shit, not talking over each other, didn't
Oh, no.
yell, didn't
Oh,
raise
no.
his voice. He didn't even use vulgarity. I don't think
It's
he's
like
ever watched our show before.
you can tell that part of him's accepting the defeat that's going to happen on Sunday, isn't it?
You think that's
No,
what it is?
Kuva, careful, Kuva.
I think you triggered him. Let's see what happens.
No, that's all I gotta say. I don't know. Apparently, I'm too reserved. For people. Whoever says I'm too reserved doesn't watch my channel. That's all I'm gonna say.
Push another button. Another button.
Yeah, I mean, Odegaard's pretty crap, really, isn't he? You probably
Yeah,
get
you
rid
You know
of him.
what? You guys, we were so overloaded.
Can I hit
There
the
was
eject button
all
on myself?
We could get. Well, let's put in Hoybia. Put in Hoybia.
Put in Hoybia and give it a.
Oh God.
Now, TJ, really appreciate you taking the time out to join us today, man. Thank you for making your debut on the channel. TJ Warren TV. The link is in the.
Sorry, I've got to bounce as well. See you soon.
We've got a friend of ours in the chat that's not happy, and this is the first show he's watched in God knows how long. So, So for TJ, the link is in the description. So if you please go over, show him a little bit of love, much appreciated. He's one of the good gooners, the GGs, which is very far and few between. TJ, what do you got coming up on your channel?
We got American Idiots tonight, 9 p.m. UK time. We have Deji Spurs, we have Stell, and a couple of those Tottenham away guys coming over to do a North London derby showdown. So go over to TJ Warren TV and hit the sub, hit the notification bell. We have all sorts of different fans on from all different walks of life. So please come and support the channel. We really appreciate it. And of course, BobbyK, we got to get you on, my friend. So I'll be reaching out.
Let me know when.
All right.
Yeah, you let me know. I'd love to come over, TJ. You're one of the good ones. I got no problem. As you know, I'm not the guy that argues and fights with people and starts calling each other names. I don't do that. Oh, your club. When did your club does that? I don't have time for that crap. I'm married
No, me
with
neither.
kids, man. I want to fight. I'll go
Discourse.
upstairs and hang out with my kids.
Right.
I come here to enjoy myself, man. So
Exactly,
I appreciate
me
you.
too.
yeah, appreciate your time, my friend. And like I said, get over to TJ, show him some love. And I would wish you luck in your next game, but I would not mean it. And so I don't like to do things half-hearted or unhearted. So I wish you nothing but despair come Sunday for 90 minutes. And after that, I wish you all the happiness in the world, my friend.
Same back to you.
There we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button on all that YouTube stuff people say. Subscribe, click, and if one of the mods is in here, if you could drop TJ's link in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. If not, it is in the description. So we will catch you next time. Thanks for joining us on What's Buzzin' Cuzzin, and come on, you Spurs! Before TJ says anything, bye-bye.